tener un trabajo en algo que me encante. Quiero divertirme y a la vez conocer muchas personas. El Illinois Media School tiene muchas cosas increíbles que ofrecer, no solo para mí, sino para todos sus estudiantes. Y con todas las cosas que aprendes, no hay manera de no ser exitoso. Aprenderás no solo a hacer segmentos de audio al aire y usar el equipo de cámara, incluso puedes tener tu propio show de radio o televisión. Y los instructores trabajan en la industria. Así que visita beonair.com y empieza tu carrera en broadcasting ya.
What if there were no rules? No limits? Nothing to stop you pushing harder, running faster, reaching higher. What if you could train and perform at your peak? Feel stronger for longer. Be your best. Always. Every time.
Everyone has insecurities, and it really is about what you choose to do with them. Insecurities don't have to define you, but they can create a story for you. There's a positive way to be fulfilled through female athletics. If I could do one thing, it would just be to give someone the inspiration, be able to be more than they ever thought they could be.
And welcome back here to the ballpark at Rosemont on NPF TV as well as the Olympic Channel.
I want to have a
Mike
job in
Knezovic along
something
with
I
Barbara
love.
Jordan joining us out here tonight for this ball game between the Texas Charge and the Beijing Shogang Eagles. And Barbara, an exciting day out here today and an opportunity for both these ball clubs to kind of right the ship, so to speak. Texas coming in at 2-3 and Beijing at 0-4 so far. So we had a chance to visit with both coaches and both teams looking for some improvement tonight.
So go to beonair.com and start your future in broadcasting today.
There is a lot of improvement.
The Illinois Center for Broadcasting is now the Illinois Media
School. Progression along the way.
We have
seen them go from getting no hits to 2 hits to a few hits to where the other night they really put out a nice offensive production. And for the Texas Charge, they had a nice series against the Scrapyard Dogs. And although they didn't win this series, they did a lot of things well offensive-wise. And one of those, they came away with a lot of long balls.
Star players on both sides, of course. Everybody knows about Lu Ying right now, the third baseman for the Beijing Eagles, doing a great job. And Shi Kai-Lin, their catcher, got Rookie of the Year in the NPF for last week. And, of course, on the Charge, you've got a couple of all-NBF players coming back from last year.
Yeah, it's a great group. And I think for the Eagles, they're showing us the flavor of international softball. And for the Texas Charge, they're in a new location. They have only 6 players back from last year's roster. So really a new bunch, but an exciting bunch. I think we're going to see a blend of speed as well as power.
We'll see how the pitching holds up for the Charge here, Barbara, because Haley McClenny, outfielder, is gone. But the key, Ali Carter, had such a great start this season. Both of those performers going to Team USA. So we'll see how Dallas Escobedo does in the circle tonight.
Well, the thing about Dallas Escobedo is she's a veteran of the league. She spent some time playing for the Pennsylvania Rebellion. But now this is her first year on the Texas Charge, and I like that. I think Dallas brings not only experience, but the way she moves the ball, the way she takes charge of the circle, and I think that's something that the Texas Charge needs.
Meanwhile, the Beijing Eagles are going to go with Wan Lin, their starter from the game 1 in the season. She's done a great job in the circle, so we've got a great pitching matchup out here tonight. We're going to take a brief timeout. When we come back, Teresa Wilson, the skipper of the Beijing Eagles, will join us here as we get set for game 1 of this set here at the ballpark at Rosemont as the Beijing Eagles host the Texas Charge on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
I want to have a job in something I love. I want to have fun and meet new people. I want to be social.
The Illinois Media School has so many cool things they offer for me and their students.
With the amount of stuff you learn, there's no way you won't succeed. You'll learn how to do a voiceover, how to use camera equipment. I mean, actual hands-on. You can even host your own radio or TV show. All of our instructors actually work in the industry too. So go to beonair.com and start your future in broadcasting today.
The Illinois Center for Broadcasting is now the Illinois Media School. We've been an institution in the Chicagoland area now for 30 years. Because the broadcasting world is always changing, so are we. Not only are we teaching radio and television production, but now you can learn all aspects of the media industry, like web design. You can even specialize in TV or film, sports broadcasting, and even sales. No matter where you are in the Chicagoland area, we have a campus near you. The Illinois Media School. Be on TV, be on radio, beonair.com.
Well, I got started at IMS because I really had nothing going on for me. I didn't have a job. I wasn't in school, and I was just getting out of my other school. I knew I wanted to go into broadcasting, but I didn't want to spend too much time in college. I'd already spent about 4 years, and I was like, I really don't have that much time to just play around anymore. So I really wanted to get into the business, and I had a friend, and he went to the school, graduated, and I saw he was already in the business, and everything was happening so quickly, and I went to him, I was like, hey, how did you get started? And he said, at the time, Illinois Center for Broadcasting, and I was like, all right. So I looked into it, went on a tour, and it changed my life. It really did. From the first step I took into the place, you felt the energy in there, and so many positive vibes coming from everywhere. And
welcome back here to the ballpark at Rosemont. Teresa Wilson, the head coach of the Beijing Eagles, is going to join us here and coach 4 games in the book so far with the ball games against the Chicago Bandits. We talked about baby steps before you guys could run, and it seemed like every game confidence was getting better for the team. How is that level going on right now as you head towards the Charge Series?
Well, every time we have an off day, we actually do 2-a-days for practice. So their goal is to get better throughout the course of the year. We're trying to fit as much practice as we can. The games are kind of like the tests after practice, and so we just take it one day at a time and do everything we can do.
Talked about the hitters having an adjustment with the off-speed pitches versus the fastball. I think mission accomplished, especially later on in the series. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, they're starting to recognize the off-speed pitch a little bit. Being able to adjust their timing to that is critical, of course. And then the really tough part is seeing a new pitcher who's just as good every single night. So that's something that they really haven't seen before, but that's what's good about it.
We saw Wang earlier in the season, Wang earlier in the season in the first game, and then later on, talk about what she brings, number 30 brings to the circle, both mentally as well as physical talent.
Well, she's got a little age on her, so she's experienced. She loves to compete. She is a competitor. Tell her she can't do something, she'll try to prove you wrong. So she's now starting to see the need for some breaking pitches, and so that's what we've been trying to start to develop on those off days. So I think half the battle is just seeing what I need to do and then being willing to do it, and I've been very pleased so far.
Always appreciate the time, Coach, and best of luck of the series against the Charge.
Thank you very much.
Teresa Wilson, the head coach of the Beijing Eagles, has joined us here. We'll send it back to the studio for a brief timeout, and we'll come back with the series opener as the Texas Charge will take on the Beijing Eagles here on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
Now the starting lineup for the Eagles.
Quiero tener un trabajo en algo que me encante. Quiero divertirme y a la vez conocer muchas personas. El Illinois Media School tiene muchas cosas increíbles que ofrecer, no solo para mí, sino para todos sus estudiantes. Y con todas las cosas que aprendes, no hay manera de no ser exitoso. Aprenderás no solo a hacer segmentos de audio al aire y usar el equipo de cámara, incluso puedes tener tu propio show de radio o televisión. Y los instructores trabajan en la industria. Así que visita beonair.com y empieza tu carrera en broadcasting ya.
What if there were no rules? No limits? Nothing to stop you pushing harder, running faster, reaching higher. What if you could train and perform at your peak? Feel stronger for longer. Be your best. Always. every time.
Everybody to the ballpark at Rosemont as the Texas Charge takes on the Beijing Shogung Eagles. Right now, we're going to toss it down to the field as we get ready for our national anthem.
Sponsored by Rawlings Softball.
Welcome back, everybody, to the ballpark at Rosemont. Tonight's game features the Texas Charge visiting the home team, the Shogung Eagles. Texas Charge coming off a 2-3 weekend after they opened up against the Scrapyard Dogs. Saw a lot of offense from the Texas Charge this past weekend. They showed us some of their speed, but really this is a team with only 6 players returning from last year's roster. They have a lot of power and a new head coach in Crystal Bustos and a new general manager in Scott Smith.
And great to be back with you here, and great to be with Barbara Jordan, who a lot of folks out there have seen and heard on ESPN as well as NPF TV and CBS Sports Network with their coverage of the championship series and throughout the regular season. It's great to be with you here tonight, Barbara, and we've got a perfect night for softball, maybe a little bit of a pitcher's night with that wind blowing in over the center field wall.
I think right now we're looking for both teams to get on track early in today's game. It's going to be a great pitching matchup.
It sure will, as Juan Langlon on the right side for the Beijing Eagles, hurling for the Beijing Eagles, and on the right side, the veteran Dallas Escobedo that you talked about a little bit before the game, Barbara, a veteran that certainly knows how to get hitters out. Let's take a look at our Rawlings starting lineup in today's ball game. First of all, for the Dallas Charge, they are coached by Crystal Bustos. They will have Taylor Gadboys, the All-NPF performer from last year, in center. Bailey Landry in left, batting second. Nadia Taylor will be in right field, switching over from her third base spot, batting third. Then in the cleanup position, a designated player tonight will be Lauren Hager. It'll be Misha Sadarako at first base, Kristen Sandberg, the veteran, behind the plate, Missy Takiaku at third base, Amanda Kamakona over there at second. Renata Davis, another veteran at shortstop, and the aforementioned Escobedo will be the flex player and at pitcher for the Texas Charge, who come in with that record of 2-3. And let's take a look at the Diamond Sports defensive alignment for the Beijing Eagles. After the first pitch coming up here to the left-handed hitter, Taylor Gadbois. As you mentioned, the wind coming in about probably 10 to 15 miles an hour as Wang Lan goes into the windup. Pitch is popped up off of the screen for strike one. Defensively for the Eagles, Su Shun will be in left field. Chen Jia in center. Yuan Wei Ning will be in right. The infield from third to first, the veteran leader, Lu Ying. It'll be Liu Lili over at shortstop, Chao Ching at second, and Shu Jia over at first, who's creeping in on the bag as that pitch stays outside. And the battery will be the Rookie of the Week in the NPF, Shi Kai Lin, and the pitcher, Wang Lan, who right now is getting a talking to from the third base umpire, Bill Gamala. Behind the plate calling balls and strikes tonight will be Steve Gold. Tom Topping will be over at first base for the men in gray and black. So 1 ball, 1 strike to the leadoff hitter here for the Charge. As Wang Lin goes into the windup, and the right-hander delivers. Beautiful bunt, picked up on the play by Bowling, and her throw will not nearly be in time. So a nice start here for the Charge on a bunt single by Gadbois.
What we see right there is the speed of Taylor Gadbois.
1 ball, 1 strike to the leadoff hitter here for the Charge.
Bat control as she lays
Wang
down
Lin
some
goes
short
into the
game.
windup, and the
Bowling playing back at third base.
Delivers, beautiful
nice
bunt,
touch
picked up on the play
with that bat on the ball.
So that'll bring Bailey Landry to the dish from the left-hand side. And her job is going to be to get that ball to the right side and get Taylor. She takes off on the first pitch, and that slashed into the dugout area. So hit and run right off the bat here for Coach Bustos.
Bailey Landry, fresh out of LSU. This is her first career professional at bat.
Again, they go with the runner. The ball's popped up. It's going to fall and then go foul. So good job there by the first baseman, Shu Jia, to let that ball go. Kind of recognized that there was some English on that ball, and it ended up going into foul territory.
For Shu Jia, that's really her only play. If she makes that play
again,
in
they
fair
go with the runner. The ball's popped up. It's going to fall and then go foul. So
good
job there by the first.
By the Eagles.
Outfield is playing medium depth and straight away. For the first professional at bat here for Bailey Landry. Pitch out, throw by Sheen Kylene, and it goes into center field. Good job by backing up there by Chen Jia, or else the leadoff hitter Gadbois would have been all the way over to third base. Throw was right there, Barbara, just nobody covered.
Yeah, for the Eagles, they knew exactly what was going on. They recognized Gadbois' speed. They pitch out, but the shortstop, Lee was late getting over to second base, and that's what enabled Gadbois to slide in safely.
So now the job is to get the runner over to third with less than 2 out for Bailey Landry. Shikai Lane gives out the signal to Wang Lan, and the veteran goes into her delivery, and a swing and a miss. So a good job there. That ball looked like it dropped right off the end of the table there on Landry.
Nice job by Wang Lan going down and in with 2 strikes. That's a tough pitch for anybody to hit, especially a slapper, when they're trying to move the ball to the left side of the field.
So double-8's Nadia Taylor will come to the plate. Different position for her, as you see again, beautiful drop pitch there, and a good job by the shortstop moving over to third base in case there was a stolen base attempt there by Gadbois. And Nadia Taylor playing a different position tonight. Normally she's over there at the hot corner.
Well, Nadia Taylor came into this season in the best shape, I think, of her life, and that's including her collegiate career at Texas. She started working out for the season back in September. She said she's worked with a strength coach, speed coach. She's worked on her defense and offense 5 days a week. She wanted to be ready for this season, and then she just lit up when she heard the news that Crystal Bustos would be their new head coach.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, runner in scoring position. And kind of a half swing there is fouled into the screen. here at the ballpark at Rosemont. 210 down each line here at the ballpark. 220 to straightaway center field, and it may play a little bit longer tonight with that aforementioned wind coming in over the center field wall. So Wang gets her sign from the Rookie of the Week in the NPF. Here's the 1-2. And let's see if they appeal down to the umpire between first and second. They do not. They throw down, but I guess they did rule that she was able to check that swing. Now they are going to go ahead and appeal. And the first base umpire, Tom Topping, says that Nadia is still alive at 2-2. Taylor coming in at .455 on the season so far. Couple home runs and 4 runs driven in the first 5 games for the Charge. Outfield playing medium depth, respecting the speed of Gadbois, trying to frame it there with Sheik Eileen. And now we'll have our first 3and2sports.com payoff of the evening. Nancy Bowling about a step inside the bag at third base in the rear part of your screen. Here's the payoff. That's a little nubber in front of home plate. That's going to serve just like a bunt. And now coming in with that speed to score is Taylor Gadbois as they threw it down to first base, and she just kept going around the hot corner, Barbara.
I'll tell you what, you cannot teach the base running skills of Taylor Gadbois. It is pure instinct. Nadia Taylor does an excuse me swing and just chops it right out in front of the plate. It's a nice job by Kylene to get the out over there at first base, but Gadbois goes from second to home in the blink of an eye.
Boy, that shades of Sammy Marshall over here at the ballpark at Rosemont, scoring from first base on a bunt single right up in front of the circle. Earlier this season is now the designated player and star pitcher for the Charge. Lauren Hager will come to the plate as the former Gator takes it for strike one. Lauren getting that bat ready there in the middle of the strike zone. And she slaps it into left field for a base hit, played on a hop by Soon Shun. So that's the second base hit of the inning here for the Charge. And they will bring it over now to Misha Sadaraka, the first baseman for Texas. Hager came into that bat 1 for 5. So now she's up to 333 on the average as the first pitch to Misha. A little bit outside for ball one. As there you get a good look at number 30 for the Beijing Eagles in the circle tonight. The veteran has done a great job so far for head coach Teresa Wilson. Ball is fisted down to the shortstop, picked up by Liu Lili, but her throw goes to the left field side of second base. So that's going to be an E6 and put 2 runners on here with 2 outs for the Charge.
Unfortunately, that's 2 errors for Liu Lili. One was a mental mistake where she didn't cover second base on the pitch out. This one right here, throwing error, as she throws wide of second base. And Chao Jing unable to come up with that ball.
There's a quick release there, which was very good by Liu Lili. Just got to get the accuracy down. And now we're going to have a force at every base, but the dangerous veteran, Kristen Sandberg, a former Bulldog from the University of Georgia, will come up here for the visitors. So good speed aboard for the Charge. They already lead at 1-0. And the pitch catches the letters for strike one.
Sandberg had spent some time in the National Pro Fast Pitch. Her rookie season, she played for USSSA, where she was Rookie of the Year.
See, off to a very uncharacteristic slow start there for the backstop. Laces it right past the third baseman Lu Ying, but it will go foul as the veteran there tried to go with a circus catch. There you get a look at Roman Ford, the former assistant coach for the Chicago Bandits, now coaching down at third for the Texas Charge. So a loud strike there for Kristen, and now a little bit of wiggle room here for Wang Lan with an 0-2 pitch coming up. 2 outs, a 1-0 lead, and 2 runners on. And framing it on the outside court, and Wang Lan wanted that one, but it was not coming there from the home plate umpire, Steve Gould. Again, the outfield playing medium depth, trying to cut off the runner at second base, Hager. As there you get a good look at Lauren going towards the third base bag here on this 1-2 delivery. Little tap on the play out to Wang, and she'll just flip it over to the first baseman, Shu Jia. And that will finally retire the side for the Texas Charge. But in the frame, they do break through with a run. They do so on 2 base hits. There was 1 error and 2 runners left on base. So we'll head to the bottom half of the first inning of play. The Texas Charge have scored. The Beijing Eagles are coming to bat. We'll be back after a brief timeout on the Olympic Channel as well as right here on NPF TV.
Everyone has insecurities, and it really is about what you choose to do with them. Insecurities don't have to define you, but they can create a story for you. There's a positive way to be fulfilled through female athletics. If I could do one thing, it would just be to give someone the inspiration, be able to be more than they ever thought they could be.
So Chen Jia will come to the plate. She's done a terrific job offensively so far, hitting .444, 4 out of 9 here in the early part of this season. You know, Barbara, talking to Teresa Wilson, she was just talking about all the different adjustments that these athletes are going to have to make throughout this season, as here's the 0-1 now by Dallas. Fouled back, so again, she's ahead of the second consecutive hitter, no balls and 2 strikes. But, you know, just the adjustments that they're going to have to make to, obviously, a new culture is for one thing, but, you know, you had to get over the jet lag to start off with, and then you have to get the equipment to where it needs to be, and as here's the 0-2, and that stays just a little bit low, but just a lot of different adjustments, and then also adjusting to a new style of pitching here in America.
Yeah, I think that the adjustment obviously is the key word to this entire paragraph that we're about to have. But one, take it from just looking at it fundamental-wise. Look at the pitching. I think that the speed of the pitchers here in the United States is something that these players are not used to seeing. So I think it's great for them to come over here to get that exposure. And we have seen them make some great adjustments. Again, they were no hit, then they got a couple hits in their first couple games. And then in their last game, they really started to get a little more comfortable in the box, and we're starting to see their offense come together.
Lu Ying, the young lady who held the flag for the People's Republic of China in the pregame ceremony, down 0-1, checks it up on that one. She's had really good offensive power with a couple doubles so far out of her 3 hits, and they've all been to center field with some pretty good depth from the left-hand side. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. The Eagles trail it 1-0, and now Escobedo is 1 strike away from striking out the side.
One of the things that makes Escobedo so good is that she's always around the plate. So when she gets ahead, she can really just lay that ball a little outside, and as we mentioned, she loves her rise ball.
Now deuces are wild, and yeah, your point is well taken there, Barbara, and that's also easy on the fielders too. You know, when you're right around the plate, they know they're going to be out there and they're going to be playing the softball. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to the veteran for the Eagles. And that ball is laced out to left field, and the first start for Bailey Landry, and she gets her first put out and NPF action as well to retire the side. So a 3-up and 3-down inning for Dallas Escobedo and the Texas Charge with no runs, hits, or errors, and no runners left on base. We've got an inning in the books as Bailey Landry comes down with the grab to finish the first frame here at the ballpark at Rosemont. The Charge lead the Eagles 1-0 here on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
Everyone has insecurities, and it really is about what you choose to do with them. Insecurities don't have to define you, but they can create a story for you. There's a positive way to be fulfilled through female athletics. If I could do one thing, it would just be to give someone the inspiration, be able to be more than they ever thought they could be.
Welcome back here to the ballpark at Rosemont as we get set for the top half of the second inning of play. And Blast Motion is the official sensor technology of National Pro Fast Pitch. The Blast Softball Swing Analyzer app captures video highlights of your swings, combines them with Blast Sensor Metrics, helps you analyze your mechanics, and provides drills for improvement. The 360-degree solution empowers athletes to get better. Purchase yours today at blastmotion.com. We move to the top half of the second inning of play. 1-0 lead for the Texas Charge. Missy Takiyaku, Amanda Kamakona, and Renata Davis to face the right-handed slants of Wang Lan for the Beijing Eagles. And we've got a discussion going on right now with the home plate umpire, Steve Gold, as both assistant coaches here for the Charge are out. And looks like we may have a change already for the Texas Charge, as number 33 has picked up a bat. Well, now that is Missy. So I'm not sure what the discussion was. Actually, it might have been a couple of insertions on the defensive end here for the Eagles.
Third baseman, number 33, Missy Takiyaku.
So we'll see if we can get those changes for the Eagles. Look like both first and third have been replaced defensively here for Beijing. First pitch by Wang Lan is on the inside corner. Nice breaking pitch here to Missy. She stands in at .429 in the early season, 3 of 7, with a double to her credit. Slightly open stance from the right-hand side. It's going to be a tough play for Liu Lili. Laser beam throw across the first, and she got her by a step. Nicely done.
Second baseman, number 47, Amanda Kamakona.
Liu Lili gets a great jump on this ball. She reads the bounce. She charges it immediately, but what I love is her quick release. And, of course, her accurate arm.
Yeah, we saw that on the throw that went errant at second base. So the technique is certainly sound. And that one was right on the money across the diamond. So the former Bandit from last season's Coles Cup run, Amanda Kamakona, 154 on the season, 2 for 13 with a run scored. And she has had one of those hits leave the yard so far. Now Lon quickly ahead of her, no balls and 2 strikes. 1-2-0 so far for the Charge, and Goose Eggs across the board with an error, as the former UCLA Bruins struggling a little bit here in the early going offensively. Slightly open stance from the right-hand side, both corner infielders in. Good job by Wang Lan to field her position, and that's out number 2.
Nice job by Wang Lan. It's a great sign when a pitcher can field their position. And right here, Kamikona actually hits it pretty sharp. Wang Lan does a nice job defensively.
So 2 up and 2 down. That's now 4 in a row retired by Wang Lan. So 3 substitutions for Teresa Wilson. She was not afraid to go to the bench early and often the last time out. As number 17 now, Yuen Ming Han, is in at first base for the Eagles. That ball is fisted into the bullpen for strike 2. Wang Bei now in at third base at the hot corner. And Chung Yen in at second base for the Beijing Eagles. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Wang Lan tried to get a 3 up and 3 down inning, barely missed on that one, and both her and Shi Kai-Lin wanted that 3rd strike. Renata Davis is up there now. Davis, a veteran of the NPF Wars, playing at shortstop tonight again. Former Wolfpack from North Carolina State, hitting at .250 in the early going. Here's the 1-2. Davis has had some pop in the bat, Barbara, in the early part of her career.
We've seen Renata Davis actually bat in the leadoff spot. Last year we saw her in the 2-hole playing for the Charge. This year she's down in the 9 spot. And what that tells us is that the Charge has added a lot of power. And that pushes Renata Davis all the way from the top of the lineup to the bottom.
Gets him a nice turnover back to Taylor Gadbois if she can get there on the 1-2 let up, and that's laced way over the head of the left fielder Su Shun, who will play it off a bounce on the wall as Renata Davis will scoot into second base with a stand-up double.
This is a great spot in the lineup for Renata Davis. She has speed, she has power, as she laces this ball down the left field line.
Nice job by the relay team there of Leo Lili and Shu Shun to get that ball in quickly to prevent Davis from thinking about a triple. That's her first extra base hit of the campaign. So runner in scoring position now with 2 outs for the Charge, who already lead at 1-0. And now they're going to try to steal third, and Leo Lili puts it on her, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. A beautiful throw there by Shi Kai-Lin to Leo Lili, so that'll go 2-6 on the caught stealing of Renata Davis and retire the side. So in the inning for the Charge, no runs, 1 base hit, and nobody left on the caught stealing as Leo Lili puts the tag on Renata Davis over at the hot corner. We've completed an inning and a half here at the ballpark at Rosemont. It's the Texas Charge 1 and the Beijing Eagles 0. You're watching exciting NPF action on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
I got started at IMS through a good friend of mine and a colleague at 670 The Score, Rick Camp, who knew I was an instructor at other universities and knew I was looking to get into a place with passionate students who know what they want to do. They know this is what they want to do for a living, and I have absolutely found that in my time here at IMS. The students are driven, they're passionate about broadcasting, radio, TV, internet, every asset of broadcasting they are completely passionate about, and it's very refreshing for me having come from a university where students are obsessed with their general eds and other things that distract them from their major. These students here are here for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to break into the broadcasting business, and it's some of the best and brightest young talent I've seen in my 16 years in the industry. My name is Jay Zawatsky. I'm an executive producer for 670 The Score. I'm an instructor here at IMS, and I am IMS.
Mike Konezovich, Barbara Jordan, back with you here on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV as we move to the bottom half of the second inning of play. The Texas Charge with a 1-0 lead over the Beijing Eagles. It'll be the middle third of the lineup for Teresa Wilson with Shi Kai-Ling, the Rookie of the Week of the NPF, leading it off, followed by Nancy Bowling and Sue Shun to face the right-handed slants of Dallas Escobedo. Eagles looking for their first hit of the ball game. Charge have threatened and scored in the first and then had a runner thrown out with 2 outs at third base in the second inning of play. That ball's fouled right back towards us. Missy Takiaku playing way in at the bag at third base here, Barbara, looking for a potential bunt.
Yeah, you don't think that usually from a 4-hitter, but Shi Kai-Ling, she can do it all. She's got some speed along with power.
Dallas is 0-1, a little bit up top. Shi Kai-Ling coming off a terrific 4-game series against the Chicago Bandits. And a beautiful off-speed pitch there by Escobedo for strike 3. So Dallas now has retired 3 of the first 4 hitters via the strikeout, and the first one looking tonight.
A lot of success here early for Dallas Escobedo, and part of that is she is getting ahead early in the count, and she's really doing whatever she wants to do. There we see her get the first out with her changeup.
Now the former Arizona Wildcat Nancy Bowling will come to the plate. Double sixes has been utilized in a lot of different positions for Coach Wilson. He's pitched a couple times in that first series against the Bandits. Played first base in college, but now they got over at the hot corner on the defensive end of things. And she takes that one on the black of the outside corner to even the count up at 1 apiece. Nancy, so far, as you see both batting and pitching statistics for double sixes. Here's the 1-1.
A lot of people wonder how Nancy Bowling got on the Beijing Eagles, and part of that is she played her college career at the University of Arizona, and at the time, the head coach of the Eagles was then the assistant coach for the University of Arizona, who actually recruited Nancy to play for the Wildcats.
We had talked about it in the Bandit series as well. Not only a terrific player on the field, but what credentials in the classroom as well for this young lady, as she was a multiple-year academic All-American as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 outs in the bottom of the second. Grounded down to the second baseman, Kami Kona. Her quick flip over on the plate to Sadaraka. 1 up and 1 down here for the Eagles in the bottom of the second.
Again, a nice job by Escobedo. That ball just beaten Bowling on the outside corner as she grounds out to second base.
So the UCLA Bruin making it look easy over there. And now Sue Shun will come to the dish here from the left-hand side. The Eagles have been pretty strong from the left-hand side as far as their lineup, the way it's set up so far. But Coach Wilson will certainly go to the bench early and often trying to get the combination that she wants against the pitcher. And the 0-1 is waved on and missed by Sue Shun.
I think that one of the biggest things that head coach Teresa Wilson has to look at is quality at bats. Are the batters taking good swings at good pitches? Are they swinging at pitches that are actually in the zone?
Trying to frame that one was Kristen Sandberg. 2 for 10 so far in the early part of the season for Sue Shun. Couple singles. Showing a good arm in the outfield. Here's the 1-2 by Escobedo. And now we've got Deuces Wild with 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. The Charge have picked up a run in the first inning as Taylor Gadbois came all the way around from second base on a swinging bunt by Nadia Taylor in the Charge half of the first inning. The 2-2 is grounded slowly. Kami Kona is going to have to hustle, and she goes with a little underhanded flip, and she picks up her second consecutive putout here in as many appearances at the plate, Barbara.
It's a nice job by Kami Kona. Covers a lot of ground. The nice soft toss to get the third out of the inning.
So 6 in a row retired here by Dallas Escobedo. A perfect 2 innings of work in the circle. We'll head to the top half of the third as the Charge continue to lead the Eagles 1-0 on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
tener un trabajo en algo que me encante. Quiero divertirme y a la vez conocer muchas personas. El Illinois Media School tiene muchas cosas increíbles que ofrecer, no solo para mí, sino para todos sus estudiantes. Y con todas las cosas que aprendes, no hay manera de no ser exitoso. Aprenderás no solo a hacer segmentos de audio al aire y usar el equipo de cámara, incluso puedes tener tu propio show de radio o televisión. Y los instructores trabajan en la industria. Así que visita bionair.com y empieza tu carrera en broadcasting ya.
Get and run with the world's most advanced compression technology. 2XU is the official compression wear of National Pro Fast Pitch. That's the number 2, and then XU is the secret weapon of the NPF and improves exercise ability, sports performance, and recovery. Visit www.2xu.com or follow on all social media at 2XU. Back to the top of the order, and Taylor Gadbois, and she took a half swing on that one, and the count evens up at 1 apiece. Taylor singled in the first, an infield single, and eventually came around on that swinging bunt by Nadia Taylor all the way around from second base to give the Charge the lead. Taylor, one of 2 All-NPF performers on this team from last year. The other one in the circle, and Lauren Hager for the Charge.
And Mike, we mentioned that only 6 players are back for the Charge this year from last year's roster. So that's 1/3 of the players that made All-NPF are back this year.
Yep, and that's certainly a good base to work off of. As that ball's chopped, going to be a tough play for Leo Lely, and she's able to not make it. Good job by Taylor Gadbois from the left-hand side, and it was lucky for the Charge that she was batting from the left-hand side.
Wow, that's a close play over there at first base. Leo Lely does another great job of reading the bounce. Once she sees it take that high hop, she explodes towards the ball. Another quick release. I actually thought they had Gadbois over there at first base.
Definitely a bang-bang call, and as you mentioned, a very quick release for Leo Lely, who's getting more and more comfortable at the shortstop position. So way in is Wang Lei at third base. There's the hit and run, and again, nobody covering over at second base for the Eagles, and Gadbois takes advantage of that situation, and now the Eagles are discussing and trying to communicate what they need to do as you take a look at the replay here.
There's a lot of different defenses. Now, no one's covering second base. Leo Lely's actually covering the 5-6 hole for Bailey Landry Speed. So Chung Yun, who did not start the game, should have been covering second baseman on that. The first baseman was staying back, covering the bag.
Now you got to watch out here because Leo Lely is going to actually have to run with Taylor Gadbois towards the third base bag if she decides to go. And she is actually going over there and covering on that pitch.
So a big thing for Bailey Landry here is to read the defense. You can see the defense is pulled in tightly. The outfield is pulled in tightly. And what they don't know is that Bailey Landry can hit with a little bit of power.
1-1 pitch is slapped right into the glove of the shortstop. Diving attempt for the double play by Chao Jing is just a little bit late. But certainly a great job by the newly inserted Chao Jing at second base.
This is a nice shot by Bailey Landry. She laces this ball. Chung Yen at second base makes a nice defensive play. The ball's hit sharply to her right. And she tries to get Gadbois doubled off at second base. Gadbois did get her hand back in there.
So now they're saying that they're actually saying that Landry is still up. So it must have been an illegal pitch.
Yeah, we're going to try to find out, but if an illegal pitch was called, it is just a ball on the batter. The runner does not advance in pro fast pitch on an illegal pitch.
Yeah, we found that out in the series down in Texas many times. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And that one's fouled off of Shi Kai-Ling and off the screen.
And Mike and I joke about that. Down over the weekend, the Scrapyard Dogs played the Texas Charge, and one game alone, Monica Abbott had over 15 illegal pitches. And all that led for her was just a ball on the batter, although she did have several walks on the day.
Right.
But those runners, not like you see in college softball, They do not advance.
The 2-2 is laced right into the glove of Su Xun. They'll try to get the double play. They would have had her if the ball would have been held there by Chao Jing. And we talked about the arm of Su Xun, and she really was able to exhibit at that time, and also some great concentration on this laser beam.
Landry lines it down the left field line. Su Xun gets a great jump, and I love the way she turns her body and fires it over to second base. Chung Yen unable to come up with it.
Yen was actually playing like a first baseman there, stretching out to try to get that throw a little bit earlier from Su Xun. And an equally good job there of base running by Taylor Gadbois to get back safely to keep the Charge inning alive with 2 outs now to Nadia Taylor. Double Eights takes that one on the outside corner for strike one. Nadia so far 0 for 1 as she tapped out to the catcher first baseman. Little bunt, or swinging bunt. So right now, 1 out. Runner on second base. Open stance from the right-hand side as Taylor hits that one right up the elevator shaft. Calling off anybody is Yuan Ming Han. And she will make the catch here now for out number 2. One thing this Eagles team has done throughout the early part of this first 4+ innings in this 5th game of the season, they do a great job of communicating defensively. So Lauren Hager is 1 for 1 so far with a single to left in her first appearance. And she'll take that one on the inside corner for strike one.
The head coach of the Eagles, Teresa Wilson, actually went over to China and watched these players play in a tournament and help pick this team. And one of the things she really liked about the Beijing players was their defense.
Wang Lan into the windup at the bottom of the circle. Yeah, they had a tournament there with all the top teams from each province play in the national tournament, and that's how they were able to put together this ball club. So the former Gator stands in now in the hole. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top half of the 3rd. That's a good waist pitch there by Wang Lan. That had some mustard on it, about 65 miles an hour. Outfield playing medium depth and straight away. Looking to possibly throw out the speedy Gadbois on a base hit to the outfield, but they're not going to even have to throw down there because Wang Lan comes up with the strikeout, her second of the evening, as she gets Lauren Hager swinging on a high rise ball that time. And good job there as Hager swings and misses. They do throw down to third, but no need to, as that was the 3rd out of the frame. So the Charge failed to score here at the top half of the 3rd. They do pick up a base hit, but they do strand the runner. They've stranded 3 now in 3 offensive innings of softball. We'll head to the bottom half of the 3rd. The Charge lead the Eagles 1-0 here on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
What if there were no rules? No limits? Nothing to stop you pushing harder, running faster, reaching higher. What if you could train and perform at your peak, feel stronger for longer, be your best, always, every time?